and you know, our good energy is our most, for lack of a better word, it's our most important commodity. Good energy is our wealth, it's our prosperity, and it's for ours to continually cultivate, protect, and care for, because everything flows from there, right? You know what it feels, you know how difficult, it's a whole other layer to remain uplifted, present, and compassionate if you have chronic pain, or if you have a lot of fatigue. And so let's not have that any more than is necessary. We are very busy in our lives, and it takes something. It takes something to really consciously widen the spaces between transitions in our lives, to attend to ourselves so that the cultivation of our good energy is our highest priority. Everything flows from there. Notice how you feel more equipped to navigate bumps and challenges in your life when your energy is good and strong, versus when you feel depleted or unwell. So those peaks and valleys will happen in our lives, and where we can influence that, let's do that. Where we can increase our vibration, where we can increase our frequency, let's do that, because it's what carries us through the rapids. Having good energy carries us through the rapids. It's hard to go through rapids when we're depleted, and that happens sometimes. You know, sometimes we want to, when we're feeling well, that's where we want to kind of double down on practices to really fill that reservoir, fill that cup with good energy, so that we have a good flowing supply of it to help us when we have squeezes in our day. The squeezes happen. Life is squeezy. You know, we're here to learn, to heal, to evolve, to grow. And we don't grow and evolve typically in comfort. We grow when there are those squeeze points. We grow and evolve when we typically would be reactive, and now we have the capacity to pause and respond. So Qigong practices, along with some of the other things that you really love doing, are what supports our ability to respond more in our life than to react. We approach our life more level, steady, and as the embodiment of ourselves as wisdom, love, and power. That's what you all are. Each one of you has 3 centers of divine creative intelligence: your wisdom center, your love center, and your body center, or your core center of power. So all of the practices that you do consciously are refilling your capacity to have all 3 centers congruent and in dialogue with one another. We want love and wisdom in harmony, so they can say, hey, we're clear, we're in agreement. Now, body center, go live it in your life. Again and again and again and again. So the Qigong practices help us to remove those blocks within those rivers of light that fill our vessel, our temple body, and allow our energy to move freely, right? You know, you see a river, when it has debris and blockages, it flows differently than when the river or the creek is unobstructed, and that water moves through it really clear and steady. So when we are flowing clear and steady internally, we can show up clear and more steady in our lives. So I will do anything that helps me do that. Anything I'll do if it helps me to do that. If it helps me to be kinder, more patient, more relaxed with myself, others, in the world, sign me up. I'll have that salad. I don't even like salad, but I'll eat it if it has me do that. And no offense to salad. Salad is just kind of a cooling food, so it just makes me feel cold inside. So I'm a warm veggies kind of gal. You know, saute me some spinach any day over a cold salad. But you pitta types, you fiery types, eat the salad, please. Cool you off a little.
And it takes time, and it takes time to instill these new habits and these new practices, because we've been around for decades using energy and being embodied and acting and thinking and behaving in the way that we do. So this class today is a little preview class of our 12-week immersion, because we found that over the course of 3 months with regular practice, that a new way of being, a new way of living can become instilled and really take root. Just like when you plant a tree or a house plant, it takes time to grow. We'll be starting in a couple of weeks with many of you here. Thank you to all of you who have said yes. Really appreciate that. In a way, we've begun. Welcome to class number 1, to preview class number 1. And many of you will be joining us on this 12-week immersion, which is first and foremost an opportunity for you to re-establish yourself in this higher vibration state of energy that you already know. You've already felt it. You've already experienced what it's like to wake up feeling great, to navigate the choppy waters of life without any. Do we have a toy thing happening?
Now I was just chatting with Elizabeth in the chat. She was noticing that with an ear up also. And Jack will always make sure he has it, that everybody wants his toys always. So
we don't want his toy.
I don't want your ball. I'm good. I don't want your ball. You can have the ball. But he's like, in case somebody wants, the mailman might want the ball. The leaf that blew by might want the ball. So
this is how we teach. We balance the seriousness and the fun. Thank you, Daniela. So Daniela, in our 12-week class, we'll be at the same time on Saturdays. It'll be a little bit of a longer class, and Daniela will be opening up a little bit more of the how to implement that. And then we'll be sharing a Qigong set every week that we will then open up during the week, with an opportunity twice during the week to meet and to review and have a discussion. Unlike some training programs that we've been involved in the past, we're capping the limit on this. We're keeping it small. We're keeping it close so that we can get to know everybody and really assist in helping the learning process along. And then any of you that love to teach, love to share, will be able to step into that as well. And that part is optional. And things that we immerse in and that we love and that we learn really have an uplifting, beneficial effect on our lives. We tend to want to share formally or informally. Like, you go to a great restaurant or you see a movie, you just tell people about it. So things that really make a difference to you, you will naturally provide some assistance to other people, even if they don't even realize where it came from. Anything else to add about that, Daniela, before we get into today?
that's a risky question, because I'm in a chatty mood right now. So I'll say no.
All right. Well, chat with us. We'll chat with us for a minute.
I think we get going with the practice. I could do the chatsies after. And then if anybody, people came here to move, not to hear me chatting.
Okay. So don't leave at the end. So our Qigong practices move pretty consistently through a specific progression. We start with grounding and clearing always. Let's get here. Let's get present. Let's begin the process of reeling the tendrils of the journeying mind back into our actual lived experience. To be safe, to be present, we need to be here. So classes start with grounding and clearing. Then we move into a warm-up where we articulate the joints in the body. We lengthen and stretch and strengthen all the various meridians, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, and the fascial layers that weave them all together, because we've got to open the body for the rivers of light, also known as the meridians or the nadis in yogic terms, for them to flow well. We have plenty of energy. Sometimes there's a blockage, and when there's a blockage in the body, energy builds on one side and is deficient on the other side. We just want to get it all flowing smoothly. And then we move into 2 or 3 practices that I would call the Qigong practices. Qigong means the art of cultivating energy. So then we start to work with it. How is energy moving? What are we strengthening today? What are we squeezing or wringing out? How are we building or observing the energy flow that's in our body? And then The last part of class is we slow it down and do a little some meditative type movements. Sometimes Qigong has been called a moving meditation. And so we'll have an experience of slowing down and feeling within and feeling how nice it is to be in a mind that is settled into the body, a mind that is a little more present. Today's class we'll be doing a Qigong practice called the Leopard. And I call it the Leopard of letting go, because we'll be working with a specific Qigong that assists us with a physical and emotional detox, primarily of the liver, which is connected to our eyes. So we're going to be wringing out the liver, the physical organ of the liver, stretching out the meridians that connect to the eyes. And it's said, in the theory anyway, that the liver is where we store anger, irritation, frustration. So we'll be opening up to release some excess anger, irritation, and frustration into the ground. And what will replace it, the natural state, is understanding, forgiveness, and seeing clearly. So our eyes, which see, are connected to the liver, which stores, and we'll be opening to a very, very gentle release and flushing. We never go all the way, let's banish all the anger. It's really a process of just opening up the dial, opening up the knob a little bit so a little steam can come off and we can relax and feel a little bit more in the understanding of the heart. And that's what we'll do. Sound good? All right, Daniela, will you lead us in, please?
All right, friends. So remember, you are always invited to find your own practice. We make invitations and suggestions. So always trust your brilliant instinctive wisdom over ours. If your body loves something that it's doing and we move on to something else and you want to luxuriate in it, you stay put. You can do this seated, standing, or even lying down. If you just visualize the whole practice in your mind's eye, it sends the signals to the body. So you'll even reap benefit in that way too. So if you feel like coming to stand or seated, if you're standing, let's have our feet hip width apart or a little bit more. Just rocking back and forth, just establishing yourself in your center, in your space. Just bringing a little movement, letting your arms just move in any way that is just intuitive in this moment. No plan, just letting yourself feel that you're in your own space and sphere. And right now, actually taking your hands and in any way you like, just feel and trace as though your arms were connecting to a sphere around you. Above you, to the side, behind you, in front of you, down low. Just in your own way, feeling this sphere, this spherical space around you. As you're doing this, bringing your gaze inward, connecting to the sensations of your inhalation while remaining present to this sphere around you. Letting your hands now drop down to your lap or your sides. Tipping your head up just a little bit, turning your gaze upward, connecting with the warmth of the golden white light of source energy. This life-giving, life-creating, this essence of life energy. Source energy. The great central sun. Love. Goodness. Truth. On your next inhalation, feel this warm golden light fill your head center. And on your next exhalation, feel this energy of source moving down through your temple body, your vessel, all the way down to your feet, extending out your feet, connecting with the earth core. Standing in and as this column of beautiful golden white light. On your next inhalation, draw this golden white light from Mother Earth back up into your feet. Feel her loving care moving up your legs, up your thighs, filling your pelvic bowl, moving up the base of your spine, this golden white light, settling into the heart center for a moment, just breathing in and out of this heart space. Breathe in deep, exhale long from the heart center. Inhaling once more into the heart center. Exhale, moving this golden white light back up into the head center, reconnecting to source itself, plugging into that golden central sun. Allowing your arms to sweep down in the shape of the sphere around you, resting at your sides. Feeling this golden column of light through you, as you. Feeling yourself as the bridge between the Father Source energy and the love of Mother Earth. Feel yourself as the child of them both, of this protective, vast center of power energy and the blend of loving Mother energy. Feel yourself as the child, the embodied blessing of the two, as above, so below, through you, as you. Inhale deep, this golden white light. Exhale long. When you exhale, feel your exhalation create this golden white sphere around you. Feel your space in this sphere filled with golden white light. Feel your energy clear, beautiful, loving, wise, and powerful within your space. And feel this field of wise, powerful, and loving protection around you. Feel the space filling around us outside of our spheres of ancestors, lineage from all directions and all time. Feel the space of joy, benevolence, and celebration, all those known and unknown to us in the seen and unseen world, past, present, and future, filling this space right now with such joy, celebration, care, support. Gently feel this wind on your back, right at the base of your neck. All of this support, all those who have been loving us into being, guiding us, directing us, whether we knew it or not. Here we all are together. Such joy, such celebration for your own conscious journey of healing, of growth, of evolution, and of giving, helping others along their path as well. Breathe in deep into your belly. Exhale long. Feeling this exhale ripple through all times and all directions, and a wave of joy sent outward. All right. Let us bring our hands together now and just rub them together, generating this warmth. And let's extend that rubbing now to shaking our hands. And now shaking our arms. We're going to bring our whole body into this shaking, whether you're standing or seated. We are releasing energy from the nervous system. Shaking is a clearing. We just grounded ourselves. Now we're going to clear anything that's any emotion that is ready to move from our nervous system. All right. So now bring your arms up, bring them in all directions, like just noodle arms, you know, swinging them around like when you'd zip up yourself in your coat in kindergarten and your coat would just swing around, like just bounce, move your hips. We're wiggling, we're shaking everything. You can brush off your arms and legs. It's like you're just brushing it off and flick. Now give it to the earth. Give everything that has been stuck or stagnant, frustration, anger, irritation, annoyance, resignation, melancholy. Just flick it off, give it to the earth. She loves it. She says, please give it to me. Let me help. Let me help. Pretend you're in Hawaii, giving it to the lava. Oh, the lava loves to have our stuff. All right, just shake it off. Shake it off your legs. All right. And whenever you're ready, start to slow this down and coming to stand or seated. Let's just keep our gaze inward for 20 seconds. Notice the humming vibration in your whole temple. This is that good energy moving, flowing. Your cells are rejoicing. Feel your cells literally rejoicing. Joy is our fundamental true nature. All else flows from there. All right. Now, I invite you to follow my lead on this next one. Sometimes this next exercise has you just, it's like an infectious practice. Sometimes this practice will actually pull up another emotion that is right behind it that actually wants to move. So when I do this next practice of laughter, sometimes I find myself doing a little bit of a laugh cry kind of dance because sometimes there's like something right behind it. So just know if that happens, it's regular. And if it doesn't, then just enjoy, okay? But just know that this is, when we do laughter, doesn't always mean we feel happy or lighthearted. Sometimes it just helps to move any emotion that is ready to, all right? So let's dive in. 60 seconds and go.
Oh.
Keep moving if you want.
You can move, you can clap, you can shake, you can slap. Make any sigh or sound that wants to come out.
And a few vocal clearings, high to low. One more, high to low. And let's go low to high.
Reach up, stretch, lean back.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. I think mommy's doing that noisy thing.
So let yourself come to stillness and feel the changes.
Oh, I love you.
Tune into your own field. What's happened? Be curious. What do you notice in body, heart, mind? Bookmark this feeling, friends. 10 minutes. Already there's a shift, right? Do you feel lighter? A little lighter, a little brighter, wearing the world a little less heavily on your shoulders. Let's lift those shoulders up and let them slide down the back. Do a few loops, moving the shoulders in as big a circle as they're able to. Breathing in through the nose and blowing it out. Breathing in and blowing it out. Open and close your mouth, blink your eyes. We're going to go on a hunt now for any places where there's tension, stress, tightness. And we're going to open and release. It's like an Easter egg hunt. We're going to look for all the various places. Let your feet be wider than hips width apart. Back to those empty coat sleeves. Start turning to the left and to the right. Let this become vigorous so that your hands are tapping, slapping, bumping into this whole wide area of your body. Picture one of those World Wrestling Federation belts, you know, those overly ostentatious belts. And imagine that you want to connect with all of that. It's like about a foot tall on all sides and all parts, while letting your arms fling around with wild abandon. So it's all coming from your center, turning from the waist and the hips. Breathing in and out through the nose if it's clear. Really letting the arms fling. Imagine there's a little traction to pull stress and tension out of your shoulders through the wild flinging of your arms and hands. Then let's let go of what's been stirred up. So now you can lift a heel and toss it behind you, using your open cupped palm to tap your back or your shoulder, looking behind you and toss it away. Goodbye. There you go. Don't need you anymore. See you later. Letting this twist go all the way down your leg. Notice your heels and your feet and your whole body. And then you can come back to the first position. Let those heels root down again, like your legs are like tree trunks. Imagine your strong legs are pressed into the ground. The ground is holding you. There's 10% tension in the bottom of your feet, almost like a little suction, like a little gripping. And from there, let the hands start to slow down. Whew. Feel the relief of the opposite of that movement as you go very gentle and let the hands move slowly, no longer touching your body, letting the practice complete on its own. Notice the feeling in your hands right now. You just activated them. That lightness or buzzing or tingling is the signature of healthy energy flow down the meridians, all the way out your fingers. Opening yourself to receiving energy through your hands, which are energy gateways. So bring your attention to the palm of your hand. The palm of your hand is different than the rest of your body. Imagine there's a little pair of lungs there, and you can actually breathe in and out of the palm of your hand. Visualize that. And then let the palms of your hands come up in front of you and interlace your fingers and press them together. This one's called flossing. Let the palm really press together firmly, and then start to rotate the wrists in any way that you'd like. Circles or figure eights. Explore and find it. And at the same time, because we like to be efficient, you can step one foot down and also roll around the toes and the ankle. Keep the palms of the hands right together. They're continuing to exchange this energy. Now, take your hands and switch the interlace. So look where your pinkies are and go to your non-habitual one and the other foot. Any kind of circles and turns, stretching movement that you'd like on the whole of the foot and the hands. Play with it. All right. Good. All right, let's come back to the center. You can crack your knuckles if that's there. Inhale, press the hands up, lean back a little bit, lengthen up and back, squeeze your core. Exhale. Hands come down. Inhale. Bring the hands up. Let's do this a few times. So scoop up from the earth, interlace, look up, press up, lean back a little bit, try to open your front body, and then exhale. Blow it out as the hands float down. Check your feet. They're wider than hip width apart. Knees are softly bent. Inhale. Gather. Imagine you're pulling energy up into your body. And then when you get to the heart, look up, press up, lean back. Squeeze your core when you lean back. And exhale. One more time. And this time, let's come down into a forward fold, either all the way down or hands on a table or a windowsill if your back would rather. Walking your hands down your legs, soften the knees again. And then either keep your hands on your legs or dangle here with the hands on opposite elbows or fingertips on the ground if they reach. Nod your head gently, yes and no. And then here you breathe. And then walk your hands up the legs, bending the knees as you roll on up. And then very gently counterbend backwards again. This time bring your hands to your lower back. Trying to touch your elbows together behind the back. And back to the front. Now keep those hands on the lower back and start to spiral the hips. Making gradually larger circles outward. And if the hands are more comfortable on the hips, you can bring them where you like. We're always seeking to practice in a way that doesn't increase the strain. It's good to feel the muscles engaged and working, but if your body is defending itself against a movement, if it's tightening up in resistance because of protecting perhaps an area where you have a body project, then soften that. Go less, go lighter. We want to use dynamic movement and dynamic warm-ups to loosen the areas, not to make them tighter. Once you've found your full circle, start to make them smaller. We'll spiral back in. And you can move the circles, like the hips, like in a large circle, or you can also tilt the hips. Get into your low back a little bit. And then let's go the other way. Spiraling outward. And then spiraling in. Oh. And then release. Shake it out a little bit. Make sure you haven't inadvertently tightened something up. And then we'll do the side stretch. We'll keep it nice and simple. Bring both hands up in front of the heart. Press one hand down and the other hand up. Looking up at the upper hand and coming back through the middle. Moving on your own, and then either staying in the pose, breathing a few times, or changing. And start to get in the habit of squeezing in your pelvic floor, of engaging and lifting the perineum gently, yet very much there. That's the first step to cultivating energy, is awareness and light engagement of the pelvic floor. We're creating a bowl to fill with energy. The lower energy center is called the lower dantian, or an elixir field, or a reservoir. Not a chakra, it's a reservoir. It's not a spinning whirl of energy, it's storage. Lift the pelvic floor. And then engage the ujjayi breathing. Breathing in and out through your nose. Listening to the breath. Keep some awareness at your center. Like every time we stretch, a little more light energy comes in and is able to fill. More and more, fill this reservoir. And then coming back to the middle. And we'll do one for the neck. So letting the shoulders loop up and then come down your back. Let's bring the chin down to the chest. And then as you inhale, sweep it up to one side. And as you exhale, the chin comes down and up to the other side. So very gentle with the neck, please. Maybe this movement feels good, or perhaps you want to make some circles with the head. Or you could bring your hand up for a little self-massage on the neck or the shoulder. And see if you can still keep a little bit of your attention on that lower energy center in the form of engaged pelvic floor and the breath. So as you breathe in, your belly fills with breath. Let's do just that. Let's come out of the neck thing just for a moment. And for the rest of the time here, we'll practice the abdominal breathing. So if you bring your hands to your belly and breathe in through the nose, you want to feel your hands move away from your body because your diaphragm goes down in the belly. It's as if the belly fills with air. So try that. Make sure as you breathe in through the nose, hands move away. And as you breathe out through the nose, the hands come in. You can even press a little bit to help frame that if that feels not like your normal way of breathing. So let's isolate, practice just the abdominal breathing that will accompany us through the energy cultivation practice. So as you breathe in through the nose, belly fills, pelvic floor is holding the energy, it's slightly engaged. And as you breathe out, navel comes in, pelvic floor is still engaged, and out it goes. And then that quiet ocean sounding breath, like you're making the breath to fog up a mirror, helps hold the mind. The ocean breath is charming to the mind. And let the hands come down. And here we go. We have 3 Qigong practices for today. First one is probably familiar to you. It's called the Wise Owl Looks Behind. We're working with the eyes today, which are connected through to the liver. So we want to be able to see clearly. So the wise owl looks behind. As we inhale, we gently straighten up and look behind us, opening the palms out to the side. Exhale back to the front, spiral the hands the other way, the thumbs turn in. Inhale, straighten out, look behind you, open the hands as far as they want to go, looking back. Exhale back to the front. Okay, so a fairly simple move. Inhale, the feet are firmly planted. Once you have the move, we come back to the breath and then to the energy. We inhale, expand, look behind. Exhale back to the front. Now check that your feet are still holding the ground with 10% tension. Notice their engagement. Check your pelvic floor. Are you lifting with 10% engagement? And then check your breath. Are you accompanying the breath's journey in your body by listening to its sweet sound? And then as your face relaxes, smile a little. You're starting to feel the flow, the cycle. This is an introductory class. And in our immersion classes, we practice them for a little longer so that you can move beyond putting it together, the physical movements, so that you can get beyond the mind's continual journeys and really settle into the feeling of growth, cultivating and collecting this good energy. All right, let's come on back to the middle. As you inhale, bring the hands up, palms skyward, and as you exhale, let them slide down the front of your body as you release and feel within. Twice more. Inhale, collect. Like wrap all this energy up in your arms and then exhale. We're just allowing it to flood our open vessel. Fill yourself. And then after the third one, pause in the middle. Relax the shoulders. Soften the knees. And look within. Listen within. And feel within. And good. So we'll learn the physical movement of the leopard. We'll do the legs, then the upper body, and then put them together, and then add the breath, and then give you a chance to feel the energy, okay? It's important with the leopard to continue to use the pelvic floor to engage. And this one does involve a horse stance. So let's warm up the horse stance. The feet turn out as far apart as you'd like, and bend and straighten the knees a few times. So your knees in your horse stance, your knees will be tracking over the feet, and you get to choose how low do you go. In some martial arts practice, they'll come all the way down to thighs parallel to the floor. And equally good is, just a little bit down. But you'll notice with that horse stance that you have to engage. So hold your horse stance for a minute. And I'd love for you to experience horse stance with no pelvic floor lift, and then horse stance with some engagement. Okay, so when your knees are bent and you're not using your core at all, your thighs have to do all the work. Immediately it feels like work. And then you can come on up and relax. And this time, squeeze and lift your pelvic floor, all the muscles that you can find. Hold that, and then bend the knees. And then bring your attention to the breath and see how much more steady it feels. Can you tell? Your body's not immediately throwing up alarms of too hard, too much. And come to straighten. Like everything, it takes a little getting used to. So from your feet wide apart stance, this is what the legs do. Let me make sure I can get further back so you can see. We turn to one side. This is called the bow stance. It's similar to warrior one stance in yoga. And then horse stance in the middle, and then bow stance to the other side. So with bow stance, your foot turns out and the other heel slides back to like a 45-degree angle so that you can pivot. And then in the middle, horse stance. So we're going to be doing a side-to-side thing. And then the other way. For those of you that were here a few weeks ago, this is similar to the dragon. The legs do a similar thing. So you go to the middle, both feet are turned out. My hands are going to be pretending to be feet. And then I go to the other side, and my foot turns out, and the heel slides back. All right? And then back to horse stance, and then bow stance. Other way. Okay. So step back in, shake it out. The arms are going to be when we're in the middle, when we're in between, we'll be holding that not so imaginary ball of chi, of energy, in front of our lower energy center. And we spin it open and we're looking at the hand behind us. So we're working with the eyes. So we spin it open, we look at the hand behind us, And the other hand just comes right across the chest, like it's in front of the armpit. Okay. And then we come back to the middle, now to the horse stance. And what we do is that same arm comes in next to the ear and we bend over and press the heel of the hand away from you, compressing the liver when you're on your right side. And then circle yourself back around and come to the middle. I think I'm making it seem harder than it is. So let's put it all together. Okay. So I'll mirror you. So for me, I have my right hand on the bottom and you'll have your left hand on the bottom so that this hand over on this side is on the bottom. And we spin it open, find the bow stance, look behind you at that right hand, breathe in, come on back to the front, and then the hand comes in, brushes past your ear, and you lean over. Strong horse stance, big engagement. We're opening the liver, stretch your whole right side, look up at the hand, and then sweep your arms down, make a nice big circle, step in, and now the other hand is on the bottom. Got it? And then we step out. I'm mirroring you, so you step open to the right, spin open. Here's that bow stance. Look at the hand behind you. And then come forward. The hand comes past your ear. Find the horse stance. And then reach that hand away from you. Be strong in your core. Look up at that hand. Breathe. And then sweep the hands down. Make a nice big circle. Step back in. And now the other hand is on the bottom. Lift, step open to your left, spin to the left, look behind you, big move, bring it in, hand brushes past your ear, press the palm away, look up. We're opening the eyes. The other hand is right in front of the armpit. And then sweep the hands down and step in. And now the right hand is on the bottom. Pick up that right knee, open up, spin, big twist, big stretch. Eyes travel way back. Bring it in, horse stance. That right hand is sliding past. Left hand is right in front of the armpit. Breathe. And then step it in. Let your hands make a fun little circular spiral. And then feel your center. Feel the stability of right back to the middle. Other side. So you pick the foot up, step it out, spin open, big twist, look behind you. Deep squat as you bend the elbow for the horse stance and then push it away. So on one side, we're opening the liver, fresh energy. And let yourself spiral and come on back. And on the other side, we're compressing. We're treating the liver like it's a sponge. Spin open to the right. Squeezing it out. And then come back to the front. And then extend. Try to look. You're bending the hand back, looking at the palm. Big power move. And then sweep. Beautiful, graceful step back in. Do one more time. Open to the left. You breathe into the extension. Breathe out, come in, bend the elbow. Brush past your ear. Big, deep horse stance. Big stretch. Compress that liver. Hands come down. And to the other side, lift the foot, step and spin, wring it out, twist your spine. And then come on in and over to your left. You're now opening fresh energy, fresh blood into the liver. And then sweep it down. And then let's feel this. So come to steadiness. As you breathe in, imagine energy flowing into your center. And as you breathe out, bring your attention to the palms of your hand. And then start to move your hands forward and back and up and down. We have one more. So open to flow here. Let your body sway. Let your hands float up and down. And we're going to move into the visualization now as a moving meditation of energetically releasing anger, frustration, irritation into the ground and receiving the bright green, verdant, fresh energy of acceptance and our forgiveness. So we're working with the liver. So this one, you bring the right leg forward and the left leg back. So now I'm not mirroring you because this is only done on the one side. Okay. So look down, right leg is forward, left leg is back. So it's a similar kind of stance. Now, your body's vibration is in your physical body and all around you. So this one works with what's called the Wei Qi field or the external Qi field, right? The electromagnetic field that's all around you. And this one's a very simple practice. We're using our hands to brush down the right side of our body a few inches away from the body as we bend the front knee. And we're circling the hands up. And when they get to the level of the heart, they're spinning out. We shift back and we guide fresh energy in. So this is a flush and receive. So the legs are simply going forward and backward with the right leg forward. And we're brushing down as we bend forward. And then our eyes open and we welcome in new energy to replace. So the hands are making a big circle, brushing down and away, and then turning. And the energy that we're receiving is the fresh green growing energy of a tree. So your hands are moving up the trunk of the tree, your gaze moves up, you're seeing the bright green sunlit leaves and right into your eyes, welcoming in the fresh green energy of growth, of aliveness. Imagine visualizing stagnant, stale energy moving into the ground. And imagine visualizing green, bright, fresh energy coming in the eyes and down the channels to the liver. So just play with this. Find a gentle way to do this moving meditation. It doesn't require too much effort at all. Let this move dance you. And tune in to what it feels like for your hands to be doing this intentional movement through your own energy field. Go slow. Move with the breath. You can even move slower than the breath. The circles don't have to be very big. Keep seeing the color green, refreshing this vital part of your body. again when you feel complete with this for now. Find a good way to step your feet back together. Knowing you can come back to this later if you'd like. Let both hands cover the space below your navel. Soften the knees. With the eyes either closed or soft, imagine every time you breathe in that there is a bright green pearl behind your hands, and that the incoming breath brightens and polishes the pearl. And as you breathe out, it gets a little denser and a little smaller. Breathing in, energy flows into this bright green pearl in your lower center. Breathing out, relax. Over to you, Daniela.
With our gaze still inward, let's breathe in deep from that golden white light sun above. Exhale long, filling the space around us within our golden sphere of this protective, loving energy. Drawing this energy in once more with a full inhalation. On our next exhalation, let's send a fleet of millions of golden white spheres out to travel in all times and all directions. They know exactly where to go and for whom to go to as an answer to a direct request for care and love and protection. See and feel using all your being, all your heart, your mind, that these are traveling to those who feel sick or fragile or lonely or cast out, who feel weak and in need of loving care. On your next inhalation, draw this golden white light energy in again once more. And on your next exhale, let's generate a sphere of layers upon layers around our home planet Earth, so that it's stacked 20 layers of these huge golden spheres surrounding our home planet. Blessing, protecting, caring for, sending out the continuous steady stream of golden white light to all of Earth's inhabitants, all of those incoming souls, all those exiting on their final exhalation. Let us see and feel using all our senses. This golden white light cleansing the waters of our planet, purifying the lands, cleansing and purifying the air, and allowing the hearts of those who consciously wish to be freer and freer of unnecessary suffering, for that light, that glow in their hearts to just shine brighter and brighter. Out their eyes and their warm smiles. So they are a beacon and a reminder and a reflection, a mirror to others, to reflect back everyone else's inherent goodness, inherent magnificence, inherent luminous nature. Let us see and feel using all our senses, our entire planet in all times and all directions. We're all beings. It's natural to care for one another, to be collaborative, compassionate, and connected as a human species, as a humanity that's united. Breathe in deep, exhale long. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, everyone. Stay in the flow. You can take as much time as you need for transition. If you're feeling a call to meditate, to go for a walk, to lie down for a rest, please feel free to tune us out. Take care of your body. Go with the energy that's there. We are always happy to connect with you and stay for a few minutes for questions or reflections. And you're welcome to absolutely step away anytime you'd like. Class is complete for now. And from my heart to each of yours, I thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to share this refreshed approach that Daniela and I have brought to the energy art of Qigong. And we know that a few of you have said yes to the immersion. That was a little taste, and in our weekly rhythm of our classes, we'll be taking a class like that, spending a little more time with each of the ones that we're learning. Each week we layer on a few new ones, have kind of a similar warm up, and then 2 or 3 like we did today. And then we'll take a little bit more time to practice them, to really understand them. And then during the 12-week immersion, we have optional labs during the week, once in the morning and once in the evening, that we will then do Q&A and break them down a little bit more and give you a chance to use your words to share some of these practices to whatever extent you'd like. So it really is a thrill and an honor. 2 weeks from right now, we'll be in our first class. And I know that some of you have already said yes. And thank you very much for being part of it, for helping to support the emergence of the Quantum Qigong approach, which is, while it's refreshed and it's a new presentation, Danielle and I are sharing things that we've learned in all of our studies. So we're not making anything up. We just teach and share in a way that feels most authentic to us in the now, in how life is right now for us. Do you want to say anything about that, Daniela?
What I love about this immersion is that many people, probably about half, come to it just to immerse in their own practice. It takes something to really establish a habit and a real comfort in your ability to then be, at times, be on your own. It's always wonderful to come together online or in person. Yet it takes a real saturation in any practice, right? It could be singing, it could be violin. It takes a saturation in a practice for then you to be most likely to replicate it on your own and to continue it and to enjoy it. I like that things are effective, practical, and enjoyable, and maybe enjoyable first place. So I see this immersion as an opportunity, of course, to learn to share it with others, but primarily for you to really feel so anchored in a practice that will stay with you for a life. Qigong, of all the practices, is one medicine that is the most grounding for Vata energy. And we have a chronic condition in the mental body, in our culture, due to our lifestyle, due to we're so over busy that we on average spend like 2 hours outside combined in a week, because we spend so much time indoors. We have so many yeses and obligations and commitments. That's not, of course, for everybody. And for many people, this is true. There's oftentimes not very much transition time from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, right? So is primarily a vata balancer, an air balancer. And we have a epidemic in our culture with the air energy so stimulated, overstimulated. So I'm all for, and a lot of vata imbalances eventually land in the body. So for example, in the world of mental health and well-being, like Ayurveda doesn't have, for example, a term for bipolar. It's a vata imbalance, like mania is a vata imbalance. Parkinson's disease and a lot of nervous system challenges stem from the root of vata imbalance. So there are a lot of end stops that these kinds of imbalances will take us to if they're not addressed. So I just love how grounding this practice is. And I also love how it brings you into your feminine side through the movements. It brings you into the experience of, especially if you're doing a movement where your eyes can soften or if not close, and you feel reestablished in your own beautiful grace. This is across the board. Everyone has a beautiful grace that flows through you. Qigong allows you to tap into that. I'm not saying it's only a feminine practice, but it allows us to connect to this deep half of our whole being is this beautiful feminine grace, which also, interestingly, it's not softly, it connects you to your power. Our three centers are wisdom, love, and power. So Qigong brings you into right aligned relationship with those three centers so you can live it out in your world, off the mat, in the curriculum of your life. We can bring wisdom, love, and power to our relations, to our circumstances. So that, to me, is the driving force behind this training. Yes, of course, you can choose to share it or teach it in so many creative ways. But the primary goal through my lens is having you have a practice that attends to all the layers of your being. Again, I like efficiency. I'm like, oh, wow, this checks all the boxes. Like, that's a good practice. I'm a busy lady like many of you. So what are my thoughts in the moment?
Thank you. And thank you, Linda, for your comment in the chat. There are many of the Qigong practices are fairly simple and don't have much coordination, and a few of them, like the one we did today, does. And we find that there's a tremendous benefit in learning that, and we keep it limited. And yet the energy cultivation practice is very strongly benefited by finding what Daniela just described, not only in the simple movements, also in the more complex. So with something like leopard, there's only a handful of them. With something like leopard or dragon, these are powerful, grounded movements. And with practice, we'll be going through them a few times. And part of the quote homework in the class will be to choose these practices and actually practice them continuously for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And at some point, your body starts to move naturally and you reconnect with that grace, even in the big, vigorous movements. And that's when your power will start to course through you, because we've got to open up to connect to that deep wellspring of power in a way that it's harder to find with it. It's there, but it's harder to find with just a simple, like, arm only movement. But when we coordinate the whole body into that flow, something sprouts, something shows up. And so we're very conscientious in the training program to balance ones that are fairly easy to understand so that you get them, and then to give enough time for these half a dozen or so more complicated. Over 12 weeks, there's only going to be 6 or 7 of these more complicated ones. And we're going to give them plenty of time, much more time than I gave today, to break them down and to do one piece at a time and assemble them into the greater movement.
I love it. If I'm learning a new one that's more complex, I'm like very clunky and goofy with it until something just starts to click. And there's like a a really good feeling about just staying with something and eventually feeling how it comes together. A whole other intelligence enters into the equation as you're learning something like that. You know what, many of us, our generation and the younger generations, are used to things just happening immediate and quick and fast, right? And to like, ooh, practice one thing for 10 minutes and it's come together slowly. It actually feels good for it not to happen so immediately, you know, to build up that resilience.